Hello YouTubers, this is Engineer Pat 5290 with a locomotive review of my 726 Berkshire set. This set was actually produced in the 50s and it's 60 years old and this engine still runs like a champ. I got this from my grandfather who gave this to me as a young boy, and this set is very, very collectible, as you can clearly see. So right now we're going to go over some of the details of what this engine does. And soon we'll be able to run this thing around the layout. I've been testing this engine and my Union Pacific, and they've been running pretty good, but I want to make sure all of them run well before I publish the video. So anyway, I want to go ahead and go over some of the details of this engine, and let you look and see what's in this. The construction of the steamer is very different than what it is now. All of this is stamped steel, every bit of it. There is no plastic, little plastic. This here, see this little illuminator here, that might be just a touch of plastic, but it's not much. So you have an actually separately applied bell. I'll zoom in so you can actually see the top of the engine. It's really, really nicely done. See here you have a little separately applied bell. Also have good separately applied handrails that actually make the engine stick out a little bit. And the tender is nicely done with some separately applied handrails, and also with a fake cola that's on top. As you can see, we're going to move up the locomotive here for just a second. This is the reverser. It's not remote control like it used to be. You always had to do it by hand. You just pull it and it changes the direction of the engine. Let me go and unhook the cars for a second, so I'm going to move the engine here so I can do a review for the back. And right here, as you can see, are the it's a 284 locomotive. See here you have very nicely detailed wheels with really good shafts, and right here where my pointer is are the valve guides that guides the valves. On some of their engines, especially the older steam engines, they had these on there, but then Lionel took them off to save money, but they ended up doing that again. But I really don't know the answer to that. But if anybody knows why Lionel took the valve guides on some of their steam engines, please leave me a comment in the description box. So as we move on towards the back of the locomotive, I'll push it along here so you can see the back. I'll move the camera. There we go. Now as you can see, the back of the engine is also, once again, nicely done with separately applied metal steps, and also some more handrails here on the back, and a molded-in ladder. 2 ladders to be exact to get up on top of the coal load. But really, and there's also one other feature about this engine, which is my absolute favorite. There's no sound in this, but this engine has a smoke unit. You put model railroad smoke in that thing, and within a minute, smoke comes out. And I am really, really glad that this engine still runs, because it is truly one of a kind, because they are not making engines like this anymore. But really, see, this was probably under $100 back then. But this stuff now, for as old as it is, it would be worth a whole lot more, because it's original Lionel and original detail, original work. I have not done anything to this engine except clean it and put smoke fluid in it. That's it. But it's a really good engine. It's a really good little runner. But one of the days that I will go ahead and get this engine running. Now I'm going to go over some of the freight cars that I have. Move the engine out of the way. The Norfolk and Western boxcar is not one of the original cars, but it is a nice car, by the way. I'm going to go over the first two. I have a Sunoco tank car. That's in its original paint. And a Lionel Lines log car that's operational, but it doesn't really work anymore. And it also has logs in it for my little log loader. Let me go and couple those back to the train. And next we have here, I'll move the last little part of the train up here, a Lehigh Valley hopper. The rocks I actually got from a rock quarry when I did when I went to school in high school. I was in there from pre-K to 12th grade, and when I was in their summer programs, we went to a rock quarry and we picked up a lot of rocks, and I've been using them here on the layout, and I'm glad they're still with me. That also came with it, this dump car that actually dumps coal. I'm not going to do it right now, but you see it's also operational. And the Lionel 6457 caboose. That's the entire set. And of course, I had a couple of the newer box cars just to kind of add a little more detail to it. And I really, really like Lionel because they made a lot of good products. I'm very serious. Nobody beats Lionel. Everybody beats American Flyer. For O gauge, Lionel is the best, and so is Atlas O. There's just a few recommendations that I have. Also back here, I want to do a quick review of this. My little trolley car. I'll set it up here on the track for you. It's the Lionel Transit trolley. My dad actually got this from a local trading store. And this actually runs pretty cool. It's lighted all the way inside. It also has bumpers here. I'm going to pull it up to the camera so you can see it. It has two little bumpers. And the little track that's right back there is for the trolley itself. It's all illuminated on the inside, but when you do a night run with this thing, it's very, very awesome. I had got to do a night run of this. So you have two little guards. You also have the passengers. And of course, it is very nicely done. So it's one of my favorite pieces, by the way. So anyway, that's pretty much my layout accessories for right now. I also have the log loader that's right here. I will be definitely doing a video of that soon. I've been doing some repairs to the track. I took out a switch that was right here. And this track right here, as all of you have noticed, is 031 track. Lionel is still producing this track that I know of. If I'm wrong, please correct me again. But users are going to more fast track. It snaps together and you don't have to have screws to push down onto the track, so the track will stay secure. So that's what you had to do with 031 track. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the review of my 726 Berkshire and my trolley and everything else and all the rolling stock. I did a Union Pacific SDP-35 review as well, so please be sure to check that out and all of my other videos. So anyway, that wraps up this video. I'm Pat Suttle, your engineer, and we'll see you next time.